So today marks a week that Nintendo decided to release their Nintendo Direct in the form and in honor of the 35th anniversary of the Super Mario Bros. Collection, or Super Mario Bros. Release. Now, we all received some exciting news considering some things they decided to release in recognition of the 35th anniversary of Super Mario Bros., like the Game & Watch and all the apparel and some collaboration with other games. And now it will be really exciting to see my favorite part of the entire event, in the sense that they released the Super Mario Bros. 3D All-Stars Collection, or Super Mario All-Stars 3D Collection. Now, since the release of that news and release of the video, and people have already gotten their hands on the collection themselves, and also some surprising thing that came out at the end of the video, or towards the end of the video, with Nintendo releasing the history of Super Mario Bros., fans have been a bit divided with all the news and all those things that they decided to talk about and mention throughout the video. Now, let's get right down towards the videos. So there's been some outcry about the whole Super Mario 3D All-Stars thing, where fans felt Nintendo deliberately blew off Super Mario Galaxy 2, and it's not just the absence in the 3D collection that people got upset, but at the fact that it was completely missing from the history of Mario at the end of the 35th Super Mario Bros. Nintendo Direct video. Now, forums came up afterwards stating the anger of Nintendo fans, and it just seems to be that Nintendo may have forgotten about it, or that maybe it wasn't worthy of mention. But I find it hard to believe that Nintendo had completely forgotten about it. I mean, you do realize that this is Nintendo we're talking about, Mario being one of their main recognized figures in Nintendo history. So there's got to be some other reason as to why they didn't include Super Mario Galaxy 2. Now, I for one, and I know I'll be receiving backlash for this one, but what seems to me is that most of the angry fans, or their demographic, so to speak, are that of that probably that didn't start playing 3D Super Mario games until Super Mario Galaxy came out. Now, I honestly have no desire to play it, at least not yet. As I mentioned in my previous video, I never gave Super Mario Galaxy a chance. So my main focus was getting the chance to play Super Mario 64 once again, as I last played it back when it first came out in 1996. Mind you, at the time I was only 5 years old, and I continued to play it up until the late 90s. Now, that being said, it held a special place in my heart. Along with Super Mario Sunshine, that was mind-boggling, had those polished graphics and a new kind of playstyle, but at the same time, it didn't abandon some of the classic 3D platforming we all came to love. So by the time Super Mario Galaxy debuted for the Nintendo Wii, I had lost interest in those games and took my attention elsewhere, considering that at the time the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 was out and about. It was hard to stay where I was focused on. So, moving on. Now, there was some speculation about a 2020 Zelda title this year. We weren't able to confirm up until now, and to our surprise, actually turned out to be Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. Now, if you're looking at the footage, the first thing that comes to mind is Zelda Breath of the Wild, for the obvious reasons, as the characters and the title references that of it. Now, a question that surfaced the internet almost right away: is this a tie-off to the events of Breath of the Wild 2? And the answer is no! Actually, it has been confirmed that it's actually set 100 years before the events of Breath of the Wild. Now, I've never been a big fan of those Dynasty Warrior Tactics type of games where you swing a sword at which maybe 3 enemies at most are within range, and it makes sense that 3 of them will probably lift up and, have all those shouting and mechanics of moving around. But no, you see about 30 enemies in the freaking air, all having the same animations and their sound effects and so on and so forth. Now, it's not my idea of creativity, though, or not my type of cup of tea, but although saying that it ties down to the events leading up to Breath of the Wild, I might just go ahead and give it a try, considering that was actually one of my favorite titles for the Nintendo Switch. Now, once again, new news and reports have been announced. If you take a look at the Kotaku page, Nintendo's asking studios to make Switch games 4K ready. Now, could that possibly mean a new Switch model confirmed for 2021? Now, if we remember back in January of this year, Nintendo spoke with investors and confirmed officially that there were no plans to release a new console this year in 2020. So I'd say it's safe to say at this point that we can expect one next year. For those of you that are Witcher 3 fans and all those other ports that have been done, you can expect an upscale in resolution, obviously and hopefully an increase in frames per second. Now, as far as confirmed details have yet to be announced regarding this information, but it doesn't hurt to have the little ray of hope that we hope to see that Nintendo makes a move against the bigger players, like the PlayStation 5, and the Xbox Series X, which has an imminent release as we get closer to the holidays. Now, stay tuned for more news as we look to see at what happens with the 4K ready, and as far as what Nintendo has in store for next year. But for now, stay safe, make wise decisions, and I'll see you next time.